Welcome, everybody, to another fun episode of Let's Talk Jaws Live.
Yeah. Look at the lovely lady we have on for you. What is going on? Now, are you you're in California, you're in not
I'm in Palm Springs.
Palm Springs. Yeah, nice Palm Springs. Nice, beautiful there.
Oh, it's perfect now.
We've got some people coming on already, Jean. I just want to formally introduce her. She's actually kind of like an idol to me because I really love stunt women, and Zoe Bell is like, I love her because she's and not only that, but she's made it possible for Zoe Bell to be Zoe Bell because she is the first really out of all your peers that tell you, say she's an icon, she's a legend. Here she is, Jean Coulter, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk Jaws live. She's from Jaws too. We look at her; she still looks the same.
Yeah, right.
She is a speedboat driver in that unbelievable scene. Now, if you read Michael Smith's book, which I have read, and I read the part where it came to you, I couldn't believe my eyes because, I mean, from what she will tell you about what happened, and when you think there's a stunt woman playing Jean, it's not. It's Jean getting lit on fire.
She is the stunt woman. Yes.
Badass, man. I mean, she is a badass. I'm like, unbelievable. And then I heard about all the turmoil you went through with all the sexism and all that back then, you know?
Oh, yeah. Tons of fun.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying hi already to you. I don't know if you can see their names on the screen there, but James, hi, how are you? Jean, the original badass. I just said that. Oh, yeah.
That was your sister that said that, Jay.
Oh, was it? Oh,
yeah, it's Lena.
Oh, see, we all love you. We all love you.
Victor's here. Mackenzie's here.
Mackenzie, hi. James Scott.
James Scott.
Good evening to all the Jaws and Jaws fans too around the world. He left out the other Jawses, but that's okay.
Yeah, they don't count. They don't count in Victor's book.
Where is Victor? Oh, there he is. I got him. Best scene in Jaws 2. I think so too. The most like horrific, horrifying, unbelievable. I love this woman already. That's Matt.
How kind.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, we are talking to Jean Coulter, the legend, the icon. She's a professional stuntwoman with over 20 years of experience. She has been in Cujo, the Blues Brothers, The End with Burt Reynolds. I was trying to find the car scene. Yeah. Charlie's Angels. She's played. She was the stunt double for Farrah, Kate, and Cheryl Ladd.
Cheryl Ladd.
Yeah, like so many. I have like another whole side of all her TV series that she was in as well. I mean, remember Planet of the Apes? They had a TV series that she was in that. Kojak, Charlie's Angels, of course, $6 Million Man. Let's see. Oh, Wonder Woman and Heart to Heart. Let's see what else. And she has A View to a Kill, the Bond movie, A View to a Kill. And so many more. She's on our show because this is the Jaws show, and she was in Jaws too, and she played the speedboat driver. And was that scene not like memorable, Michael? I mean, it's got to be probably one of the most memorable scenes. And
well, it sets the tone of the film. It number one, it lets you know there is a shark there, and number two, it's a badly burned shark out there because she gets the joy of taking it out with her. She got the barbecue. She left her mark.
Yeah, she did. What's crazy, guys, is Jean did all the stunts for that. So there's no stunt woman in that. And then I've read about her, and she'll tell you the story if you haven't read it yet. But when they set her on fire, I'm like, what? I mean, this unbelievable. I just want to put comments down so far. People really wanted to say, Jean, your list of work credits is incredible. She and the late Dar Robinson are stunt legends. Ooh.
Thanks. Always nice to be hooked to him.
Mike and I saw the end of Tampa Bay Senna. I didn't know you were watching you then, Jean. Oh, that is awesome. Oh, Jeannie Jones Clark says, "Hi, Jeannie. How's the nose?"
The nose is okay. It's still on.
Oh, hey, Jordan. How are you? Hi, Michael Massey. Hi, Jean. I made it. Hi, Jean. I made it. Yay! At night and still awake.
It's 11:30. He must be. Oh, he's over in England too. I think we have viewers from all over the world. You know, we've got tonight. We've got Canada. We've got England. We got Ireland.
Very cool.
Pretty soon, I'm sure that Rogerio will pop up from Brazil.
Yeah,
So
he
you have
is.
a very wide fan base.
Dude,
Um,
just call her. She created the very first Scarface before Tony Montana.
The original Scarface, Scarface Brusette.
Is Donna on? Where is Miss Donna? Where is the Queen of Jaws? I want to see her. I didn't put a water up there. Donna. Hi, Connor. Hi, Jimmy Lovato. Hi, Victor. Hi, Mark Fitzgibbons. Jane Jones Clark. There's Donna. Hi, Donna.
There she is. Hi, Donna.
Scotland.
Yeah, James over in Scotland.
Cool.
So let's get started. How did you get into the business, as they say?
Oh, I kind of grew up in it. My dad was in it. My sister was a child star. She did National Velvet. So, I grew up in it. I went to work with dad and I liked it. So that was what I did when I got out of high school. I just really enjoyed it. I felt at home.
What made you gravitate to stunt work?
Because I was such a lousy actress. I said I can't do acting. So I love sports and I was always good at all the sports. So I thought, okay, that's what I want to do. So I was lucky to be able to do that, actually.
Yeah,
It was hard to get in.
Your sister was in the TV series National Velvet. She starred as Liz Taylor's.
Right.
And your father was in the did he work for Warner Brothers for like 50 years or something too?
Yeah, Warner Brothers. He designed the Disney World, all the Main Street sets in Disney World, so all over the world.
Wow.
Yeah, he was something else. He was very talented.
Let me say real quick where it says Maryland. That is my longtime good friend Marcus Gallagher, who I went with him when he took his band to New York one night, and it was a great experience. So welcome, Marcus. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
New fans every night.
Yes. Hey guys, it's Gene. Oh, it's Milos. He's here. Hi, Milos. Gene the legend. Yes. So Gene was telling us how she got started, and she was saying that her family was, her father was like, tell him what your father did. He worked for Warner Brothers for over 50 years.
My father was the head over the art department at Warner Brothers, and he was head over the art department at Fox Desilu. He worked at all the studios, but basically 50 years at Warner Brothers, so that was a lot. And then he went to Disneyland and worked all the main streets and did all that artwork there. So he was very talented.
Oh, wow.
He was a hard worker.
Were you intending to follow in his footsteps and do?
Well, he wanted me to because I have a lot of artistic abilities, but I didn't want to do that. I just didn't want to. So he was not happy with me doing stunts. I'll tell you that. He wouldn't even come down on the set and watch me. He said, "No way." I said, "Okay."
Oh, that can't be easy because you've done some amazing work.
Badass. Yeah,
that
badass. Yeah.
It's not, people just think you show up and you fall down, but it's you have to know how to fall down. I think maybe you're the one who told me the story about somebody was doing stunt work for Brando where they robbed a bank and they came out, but to start the fire in the bank they put oil on the floor or the outside, and one of the stuntmen fell and broke his back.
Oh my God!
Because it's much more time inclusive, and it's I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Hooper, but when you see all the stuff when they set up and how they measure stuff, and it's got to be accurate. And there's a great I don't know if it's on YouTube, but there was a great documentary on Dar Robinson that showed how when he fell out of the tower in Atlanta, it's a lot of work, a lot of science, and a lot of skill involved. You just don't, drop out of a window and hope you hit the mattress.
Well, when you go to work, you never know what's going to happen. You can't depend on anything. You make the plans and make sure you're going to be safe, but it never goes the way you planned. That's just the way the business was. So you had to learn to have a way out, and that's what I did all the time. And I was really, really fortunate because some of the stuff I did, I could have been killed on. I mean, I did one thing where I had to hit a big, huge mirror in the middle of the street. I was in a car and we scored the boards that were holding up the mirror. But when I hit the mirror, the whole thing flipped around and a 2x4 went right through the windshield and right next to my face. So I was like so lucky. So you just never knew, it was always a new experience because the kind of things I did were a little bit tougher than just falling downstairs. It was like, do it or don't make it. So it was crazy. Yeah, it was exciting. What can I say?
What was some of your earliest? I know you did Charlie's Angels television. Was that some of your earliest stunt work?
Oh, no. I really started doing stunt work in 62.
Oh,
and
wow.
then I was talked into just going straight A and just doing stunt work because at the time, years ago, I was standing in first and then did stunt work on my e-card because it was cheaper for the studios and Universal kept me there forever. So then two stunt guys came up to me and said, we don't want you to do stunts on your e-card. You're going to work A-card and we'll keep you working. I said, okay. So that was a big chance because I was supporting two children at the time. So I made that move and it turned out to be the best because I never quit working after I started. It was like I fit the girls. I was tiny and I could do the hard stuff. So it just worked for me. I was very fortunate. It's hard to, get into the business, let alone get your A card, let alone do stunt work. So you got to be good. You have to have some talent to do it for sure.
Is it a competitive business? I mean, every restaurant has 20 waiters trying to be actors, but are there a lot of wannabe stunt people?
Well, back then we did have a lot of stunt women then. We probably had 30, 40 stunt women. But the thing is that I did the hard stuff. That's why I got a lot of work. A lot of the girls didn't want to jump out of cars, because you get hurt. So, yeah, it was very competitive, but I just ended up in the right spot where I did the tough stuff and it got me a lot of work. So I was lucky.
Okay, I'm trying to see who asked. This is Ian Kroger Morton wanted to know if you ever met the pond victim in Jaws, Ted Grossman. Have you ever worked with Ted?
Of course. He was a stunt coordinator on our show.
Jaws too. Yes.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, he was funny. He was great. Great guy. Real funny man. Really funny. We had a lot of laughs. Yeah, that was a good show.
Jay mentioned Zoe Bell earlier, and really there's very few named stunt women. I mean, Zoe Bell, Kitty O'Neill, and yourself. I mean, those are the three that are always brought up. So it's a nice sisterhood to be a part of.
Yes, it is. And I'm very fortunate. What can I say? I'm very fortunate because the stuff I did was tough.
Yeah. She's got a list of like so many other people. Then finally you told us that you're going to, before you came on, you said she has over 375 credits that aren't even like mentioned in the IMDb page. And they're finally going to do that. But it's really sad being a woman too. But like, there are some stories that I read that you did. It's almost like Me Too, when Me Too came out. And it's almost like you are a pioneer of that, because you like stepped forward and said, listen, I'm not taking this crap no more, because they made her put it on another card so that they wouldn't pay her for the stunts, because then the residuals they would have to pay her. So she lost out on
Exactly.
that, and
Yeah.
that's such shit, sorry, but I mean, it's amazing. And all her peers tell her that she is the legend, that she is the original OG of stunt person, not stunt woman, stunt person.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, when we worked, we only got paid half of what the guys made. So, I mean, I was grateful for every job. So I would never say anything. But on the other hand, it was so unfair. What
So
can I say?
unfair.
But
So unfair.
in those years, I mean, we were a woman. And it was tough. And I walked on a show one day and the guy said, "Who are you?" And I said, "I'm the stunt woman." He says, "You're the stunt woman?" Right. So it was hard enough going in and having them laugh at you and make fun of you before you even got to do the job. And then after I did the job, I really was given a lot of respect. So that changed. That really changed. So
Yeah.
I was fortunate,
I think the perception back then also was that, I mean, gee, you still are, but you were beautiful. I mean,
Yeah.
you
Thank you.
you probably got mistaken more for the leading lady than the stunt person.
Yeah.
So that's probably where some of that attitude came from. Um, but some of the stuff you did, and I know we're gonna show the Jaws 2 clip here coming up, and then talk about that. But some of the stuff that you did is just I can't imagine man or woman doing some of those stunts.
I know.
And
She's worked with cars, animals, not just animals, like wild animals. You know how like today they have all these documentaries on like the Tiger King, and then they see somebody getting attacked. Like, she's working with lions. I'm gonna show a picture of her with a lion that I took from her Twitter account. That I stole from her Twitter account. And I mean, dogs, horses, and wild horses, animals. Let's see what else. High falls, fight scenes, helicopters, planes, waterwork, car hits. And she was the only woman in 1977 that was given the job as a coordinator of a major motion picture. And that movie was called Airport 77. I remember that. That was bad.
Yep. I got to coordinate it. I did a part and I doubled the lead. So that was good for me. Yeah. That was good for me. Except at the end of it, I broke my back with Dar Robinson. So I couldn't finish the very end, but that was okay because it was just when I got out of the plane. So luckily we had completed most all the filming before I broke my back. So
jeez. God.
Yeah.
It's very unfair. Very unfair. Very unfair.
Yeah. We mentioned Dar a couple of times. What was he like as a person?
Oh, I'll tell you, he was just so great. He was so much fun. And he just lived to laugh and have fun. He'd call me in the middle of the night and he'd be out at a restaurant and bar. And he says, "Come on down." He says, "Jean, we'll have so much fun." And just all he was interested in was having fun. He just lived such a fast life and he was a great guy. He was just so great. I miss him terribly. He was my best friend. And I traveled with him. I lit him on fire at 200 feet, and we had a great time. And
that's a story. That's like a story you tell at a party. This reminds me of the time I set Dar Robinson on fire at 200 feet.
Yep. He was
Jeez.
great. He was a nice guy. And the things he did were absolutely incredible at that time. It was just awesome. I don't think there'll ever be another Dar, really.
A lot of people are saying you're a trailblazer. One of my friends, Jane Jones Clark, said that you are a trailblazer. Very unfair. You were better than most male. Actually, weren't you considered for like an all male stunt group? Like the only woman who was considered?
Yeah, they asked me to be considered for Stunts Unlimited. It was all male at the time. And I went in and was interviewed, and I missed it by one vote. And the one vote was a man that worked me every day practically. And he said, I just don't want women in there. And I said, well, I understand. You know, I wouldn't want to be there if you wouldn't want me there. So they did take in another woman after me that was married to one of the guys. And they took in Kitty O'Neill, who was a deaf stunt woman who did the land speed records. So yeah, but I ended up being in a group of the top 13 women in the business at the time. So I was happy about that. It didn't last long, but I was happy about that because we were the best. So, you know, it was good to be with the women. Yeah.
We have a question from Victor from Canada. And Michael, you talk about this in the book when you did interview Jane. I got to plug his book again here. And then so she tells a story. Basically, Gene, when he wanted to know if there was if you were getting, did they actually shoot Terry getting attacked from underwater? And they didn't, but I would just like, do you want her to tell it after we show the clip, Mike, or what do you want to do?
Let's run the clip and we can talk about it.
Because when you see the clip, then you forget and you look at it and then you're like, okay, you see her getting lit on fire. She's on fire. Okay. But we are going to show the clip. So, I mean, there's going to be a million questions afterwards. I know it's crazy. She is one badass woman that I highly respect.
Thanks.
Were you in the TV series The Fall Guy? I'm not sure if you were or not. Were you?
I think I worked one day on The Fall Guy. Yeah, with Lee Majors.
She was in the $6 million. I'll show you many credits afterwards, but I'm in that page book 318. I love it. I love it. I love it. Great memories.
I think The Fall Guy, they bought one of my stunts. They liked one of my stunts and they bought it for the show. So.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So Michael, did you just read a couple more comments so I can just pull up that comment from?
Yeah, go ahead. While you're doing that, I'll read some notes. When I was a kid. James Scott. So when I was a kid, I always thought Jean was Quint's wife. and Jaws got to her for revenge. That's kind of.
She does look a little bit like Lorraine.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I guess sharks do take things personally. Let's see. Does Jean think that Jaws should be a standalone film, or would you welcome a remake? Would you welcome watching somebody else do what you did?
I don't know. It kind of loses it. I think the ones that we did were great, you know, and I just think that once they keep doing it, they don't do it as good. I don't know. It's not, you know.
Well, waiting for the clip here. A question is stunt work easier now? Have you heard with all the CGI they can do, or is it still?
Well, I know that they save a lot of body parts, you know, doing it that way. So I'm not sure. I know they do a lot of wire work and we just hit the ground, you know, but now they're doing the wire work and I think it is easier. I'm not sure, but you know, I don't know.
Okay. Jay, you ready with the clip?
Yeah, I'm putting some stuff on the bottom.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I just said some of the women that she's worked with were Farrah Fawcett. She doubled that. Cheryl Ladd, Janet Leigh, Stockard Channing. Oh my God, Faye Dunaway, Jacqueline Smith, Kate Jackson, and many more throughout the years. But we know her as our favorite speedboat driver and one kick-ass, badass friggin' stunt person. Let me tell you. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Without further ado, we're going to play the clip. And it is a doozy, and we love it, and we love Jean. And we're going to bring us all down, and we'll show you that clip as we bring everybody down. Oh my God. 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 Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Well, we got a few questions just while that scene was going on. One was how many takes did it take to bring the boat around? And
Oh, you know what? I was really great at that. It only took a couple of takes.
because
It
you were
only took
actually
it only took a couple of takes. But
driving the boat,
yeah, I
which
drove the
is
boat and I had to bring it into the ski. Try to do that in the ocean. It's really hard, but I was just lucky. It just, I just hit it and it worked perfect. So I think I did it twice because they always want to get more film to make sure that they had enough. So that was simple. I mean, we worked on the movie 6 months. So a lot of the scenes we did took a long time. The firework took a long time. So, they had to get all the film. And I remember going into the Sparklies for the director, Swartz. And he kept
I
saying,
read
go
about
into the
that.
Sparklies. He didn't know that the boat was hitting the bottom of the ocean. I was going through the sand with this V-bottom boat, and it was just dragging down the boat, and I'm trying to pull the skier, and oh my goodness, it was something else. But the director just didn't realize, what we had to do and what the problems were at the time. So it took a long time for that. But going up and getting the ski and doing the Terry scene was simple. That was pretty fast. I think one day it was really fast.
Mhm.
yeah. Jane was my next question. Jane wanted to know I know they shot some of the stuff in the vineyard, but that stuff was shot. The water stuff was all shot in Florida.
No, we worked in Catalina Island too.
Oh,
So
okay.
most of it was shot in Florida, but we'd go to Catalina and shot some of it there where the shark hits the boat and goes after me. That was shot in Catalina.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Was there any more that I had written
Yeah,
down?
there is. It's just credited as speedboat driver, and that they credit you in the credits at the scrolling at the end. Stunt woman. That's a question I wanted to ask you.
Please
Did they?
forgive me. I can barely hear you
Oh,
for some.
okay. Did they? I didn't look to see the credits on Jaws 2. Did they credit you as stunt person in that credits?
They credited me as the boat driver, I think, or
Yeah.
Diane. I'm not sure. I think the boat driver, but
Now,
Okay.
did you get paid as both an actress and a stunt woman, or they just make you do one or the other?
Well, each day was different. I got paid according to the stunt I did. I go in on a base rate, and then depending on what I do, they upgrade me. So the days I was working the firework, I was making $2,600 a day, and then most of the time, I don't know, I always made over scale. So they were very good to me on that movie. Very good to me. So.
Well, excellent.
That's got to be Dawn Gale right there saying that. The boat driver's name is documented as Diane, and a few sources don't know the authority. That's got to be Dawn Gale. Yeah, that's Dawn.
Yeah.
Dawn, but Victor and Dawn, there's a whole bunch of people on here that are on the Jaws 2 Facebook site, and you're on there, and the Don Gale loves Jaws 2 as much as everybody else is on here, but he always like writes something nice, and I'm going to bring up that Jaws 2 site so you can see that. There's over 9,000 members on that site alone, and they know who you are. And the boat drivers, and that is Don, right? Right,
Yes.
Michael?
Yeah.
Okay. Another person asked is, I remember this scene before Eddie and Tina were listening to New England. I live in the UK version, Plymouth in England. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. It was.
Is everybody feeling okay?
When you got your, when you told Michael in the book, when you were lit on fire,
Hi,
I mean, it looks like you said
How
you
are
can.
you?
Like if you look at it again, you really can't unless you
Good.
look
I
again
love
and then you
you.
say something about tell them about what they made you wear, what you put on
You don't
to
sound
when
very
you
happy.
put you on fire, Gene.
You know what? I can't hear you. So
She want to know what was your outfit? What did they have you wear when you were set on fire? As
the
far as
only
a
thing I
protected.
wore was Nomax underneath my cotton pants and my cotton shirt.
I love you, Missy.
It wasn't a lot because, you know, they put that bar, like in your barbecue, you have a bar where the fire comes out. That's what they put against my back to light me
Oh,
on
wow.
fire.
Oh,
So it
geez.
went from my butt all the way up and the fire just blew up. I had I sprayed the wig with fire retardant and the scarf and the clothes, but, you know, they burned off me. But the Nomax didn't. So I got hot. Of course, I got hot, but I didn't get burned. I didn't have
Did
the
your
only burns I
eyelashes-
had was I lost my eyebrows and
only
and my eyelashes. So
she only
that was
lost her
lucky.
eyebrows. I love it.
Sheesh.
Unbelievable. I only lost my eyebrows. I'm fine.
Let's see. We had a question here from Jeff Geisling. You want to know what stunt or what work are you most proud of from your career? What did you do that?
Well, I think jumping out of an Excalibur and going in the air, and it went down like 100 feet. So I really almost got killed on that one. When I first did it, the car came over with me. So I was rolling down on the ground and the car wheels were right next to me. So it could have easily flipped over on me. I was lucky on that one, but I got a lot of air on that, and I probably landed after 80 feet down onto the ground and kept rolling down. So that was a tough one. I was laid up for a little bit on that one. So
Now, and then
Wow.
also, Michael, in your book, it says that, Gene, you said that you were offered Cannonball Run and you didn't take it, and then
no, I didn't take it. I was supposed to double fare on it, but I got Jaws 2 and they wanted me to leave the next day. So
you
I
had
couldn't
to-
do a Cannonball Run. And I'm kind of glad in a way, you know, but then again, I wouldn't have been one that didn't have seat belts. So, you know,
Yeah.
I probably would have lived through it.
Did something happen on the stunt woman that did do the Cannonball Run? Did something happen to her at all, or am I thinking the right?
I can't hear you. I'm
Just want
sorry.
to know
Oh, that's
the
okay.
incident. What Jean's describing, she was offered Cannonball Run. She turned it down.
Yeah.
Another stunt woman took the job.
Heidi.
That's
And
what I
they had to the vehicle she was in, it did not have any restraints, and
Right. No
Did I
seat
get it?
belts. No seat belts. She went through the windshield, and of course, she was paralyzed from the neck down. And she just recently passed, but that was
Huh.
really sad.
That's
You know,
sad. That is
that was sad. But you know, you can't plan for everything. But they should have planned for that. They should have had seat belts. You know, so. That's the difference between being a veteran stunt woman. You know, you better carry your seatbelts with you, and you know you better use them when you're in a car and doing car crashes like that, especially head on. I mean, that was ridiculous. So
Wow.
that was
Wow.
sad. Yeah.
That's so sad.
James want to know, did you take any souvenirs from the set?
Never, never. And we never took pictures either because you're not allowed to have a camera on the set. So I don't have hardly any pictures. It's
Oh,
crazy. But those years, you didn't dare bring a camera on the set and no souvenirs. Are you kidding me?
Did they
No.
did they use you as a mold for the disfigured body they find, or did they just
They just made it up. Yeah.
okay?
If you looked at that body, oh my God, was embarrassing.
Oh, jeez. Let's see.
that's why she's a trailblazer. Hello. Oh, several. Okay, Nomex is used for fire insulation aboard ships. Oh, wow. Donnie's got a encyclopedia of answers, and I'm telling you. Kevin Davis, hi. What was your character in Jaws 2, Terry the water ski's mother? I read that in Jaws 2 wiki. I don't know if she was or not. Was she, Michael? Was it?
Did you have any kind of did they set up a plot line where that was your daughter you were towing, or you were just two friends, or
No, they never said anything to us, so we didn't know. We were just friends as long as, as far as we knew. We didn't know what was going on. We were just there to do the work,
Okay.
I think I got a script of 5 pages. So, like I said, we didn't know what was going on.
Oh, this is a good question right here from Victor, Canada. What words of wisdom do you have for future stuntmen and women? Wow, that's a good one.
I can't hear you.
Oh,
What-
the question is, what words of wisdom would you give to anyone, of any future stuntman or stunt woman or stunt person, we'll just say?
Well, I would tell them to learn their craft. I mean, I tried to learn everything I could, whether it was car work, fight scenes, fire stuff. I tried to learn everything I could so I was well-rounded. And so I think that the most important thing is learning your craft. And then you don't have to worry about not working because they're going to work you because you can do it all. So that really helps. It makes a big difference.
Okay. Were you ever
Now,
asked?
now I've heard that they just go in and they're specialized. They just do fight scenes. The guys just do fight scenes, and that's all they do. They don't do what we did. So it's really changed a lot. The guys go in and do car work, and that's all they do. So it's really different. Whereas if I wanted to work every day, I had to know how to do all the stuff, not just one thing. So
Okay.
that's the difference, I think, today.
Connor Cheney over in Ireland wanted to know, what is the most dangerous stunt to do? Is it fire or jumps off something high, or
That is actually a good question. I'm curious.
yeah,
What's the most dangerous
most
stunt?
dangerous that would have the most negative impact, negative effect if it went wrong, I guess is the question.
There's so many
Some of the
them.
easiest stuff you can do can kill you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I can't say one thing or another. I had told you prior to this that when I set up a mirror and had it all scored behind, and when I hit the mirror, the boards flipped around and went through the windshield. That's the kind of stuff that happens on simple jobs. So,
Yeah.
and some of the stunts you really prepare for, so you're less likely to get hurt. But I think for me, jumping out of wagons with 4 horses running with full skirts on and trying to miss a big 3-foot brake sticking up and not going into the wheels of the wagon, that was dangerous because I could have gone into the wheels of the wagon. So, and
Wow.
two, landing, you hit that ground then and it's hard. So I'm little and I was black and blue all the time. So it just depends. Everything's so different, You just have to know your ways out and you have to plan them and think them in your head, because when you get into the stunt, you don't have time to think about it. You just do it and your brain takes over, and luckily it works most of the time. So
All right.
Was
Well,
there-
tell us about this picture. Sorry to interrupt, but this is pretty cool. Look at this. This is you. I love it. Can you
Say
see
that.
it? It's a picture of you with the lion. Let me see if I can bring it in.
No, honey, I can't see it.
All right, let me bring it.
Okay. It looks like it's you surrounded by lots of big furry lions. Was that just something
No, it's
you
one
did, or?
lion. It's one lion, and she's got her hand on him.
Right. I know the lion. I met him the night
The
I worked with
lion.
him. I never knew him before, and we had to work in the middle of the night in the Florida swamps in the woods, and he didn't eat that night, so they wanted him to chase me. So I had a big pound of red meat in my hand, and I threw the meat over my shoulder, and they scared him with fire extinguishers, and he ran after me, and luckily he didn't take his paw and swipe me down on the ground because he hadn't eaten, but for some reason he was so good to me. What can I
Good Lord,
say?
you
God.
never
I mean, I'm
know.
throwing red
mean,
meat and it's getting as fast as he can and coming after me again. So that was crazy. But he liked me. The next day I went, and that's when that picture was taken. I went and visited him and sat with him for a while and petted him, and he purred like a cat, a little cat. It was crazy. Yeah, so I just
God.
have that thing with animals where they know you like them, and but I have respect. I always have respect for all the animals, of course, but I'm partial to animals because I can feel them almost. It's crazy.
Well, that leads me to a question I was going to ask. Were you ever asked to do a stunt that you refused to do?
No, never. I mean, everybody asked me that, and no, I took every one, and I really didn't have anything that went terribly wrong. You know,
Well, if I get,
the only time I got hurt was when I did it on my own with Dar Robinson.
jeez.
You know, practicing or learning different things. So, no, I was very fortunate because I did some really hard stuff, you know.
Let's see. Question is, Tom Cruise is well known to do his own stunts. Would you have ever seen you hanging off a plane or walking down like the big building in Dubai like he did?
Oh,
Would
yeah, of course. Of course. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's challenging. And if you do it, you have such a great feeling that you accomplished something that you know a lot of people can't do. So, as a woman, for me, that was great. Uh, yeah, I would do all of what Tom Cruise does, and he's an excellent stuntman, really. So, yeah.
Michael, tell the pictures I
yes.
have. I have the pictures. Gene, I have pictures of you below. With you with Cheryl Ladd, and then also, you remember Honky Tonk Freeway?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a picture right there. So we got some pictures there. I just want to bring it up, but I like to just show it and see if I can bring myself down and see if I can.
Okay. And then picture you and Cheryl Ladd. Then one of you from Jaws 2. God, I still cringe listening to some of the things you've done because I consider myself like rough and tough, but I wouldn't I wouldn't let a lion chase me here. This is here's an excellent. This is from Milo. She's over in Serbia, and your life story must be on the screen one day.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks.
Who would you like to play you in the film?
Oh,
I'd say
I
Charlize
think,
Theron.
Yeah.
Charlize Theron or Margot Robbie.
yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Yes,
That
yes,
would be a,
exactly.
that would be a
That's the
great.
first one that
that'd
was
be a
mentioned
great-
to me. I didn't sign a contract to do a movie and TV series. It just wasn't right for me at the time. So I'm sure if I get the book out, maybe it'll happen again. And I think it would be fun to do and,
That would
you
be
know,
fabulous.
exciting.
I think that would be really popular. People would really love that. Really love that. That would be a kick-ass movie. It really would. That was a good question. Thank you, Milos. Oh, somebody put Cujo. Oh my God, Cujo. Working with the Saint Bernard. How was it working with the Saint Bernard? Was he a good doggy? Yeah.
Yeah. Cujo. Yeah. The one that took my nose off. Yeah. I love that one. Yeah. He weighed 152 pounds. I'm laying on my back with a gear shift in my back, and he's on top of me. And I'm playing with him with a little toy wrapped around my neck because I trained him that way. And they kept saying, keep going, keep going. And I knew he was getting tired. And I said, call him off. And right before they called him off, he started chomping to get the toy. And unfortunately, he started clawing my chest, which forced my head up. And he got my nose. Luckily, he didn't get my eye or my face, but he got my nose. And I was lucky that I went to a plastic surgeon, and it was just hanging by a very little teeny piece of skin. And that's the only way that they saved my nose, was it was hanging from, a piece of skin, because I would have been noseless, really, with 2 holes in my face. That would be it. So I was
geez.
very fortunate on that one. So he didn't mean to do it. He was just playing, and sometimes things happen and you can't control them, and it happens.
So that was when Jane asked you how your nose was. That was the answer to my question. I was like, what is she talking about?
Yeah.
She said something about D Wallace. So I'm thinking that, okay, that was the story behind that, your nose. Well, it was hanging. Oh man,
Yeah, it took us like 3 hours to get to the hospital, and I waited for a couple hours to get a good plastic surgeon in, because I knew that if I didn't get somebody good, it would be bad for me. So I was lucky. I was so lucky. He could have got my eye, he could have got my jaw. I was just lucky.
Yeah. You never know. I mean, look at the
You don't.
guys in Vegas there that work with the Tigers. All it takes is him just hitting you by accident and the tiger feels bad. I mean, even to domestic dogs. I had a friend that had his playing around with him and then scratched his eye, and he had to go in for eye surgery, but he didn't tell him that it was his dog because he was so afraid that they were going to put him down. So like you just said, like it can be anything. I mean, you have a luck, like all your peers. That's why they call you an icon, a legend of all the stuff that you've gone through, man. You just kicked ass and like did it, and unbelievable. Like that's unbelievable. And then went back to work after you fixed your nose. How long did it take you to go back to work? Were you like on another project right away, or? Yeah, I can only imagine you're the type of person that's like, okay, on to the next one.
Yep. That's the way it is. You get hurt, you get black and blue, and the next day you go on to something else. That's just the way it was. Yeah, we had to be tough, especially being a woman. They made fun of me, so I had to be tough. I had to stick in like the guys. And I remember them saying, "You want to be a guy?" I said, "No." Yeah, I got it all.
God.
And
That's
they
just,
only and then the pay then was you only got like I think you were like, what was it, 45% less than they were making or something? I don't know the statistic that you said, but that they were giving you
I
like
couldn't hear you, but I
just wanna know,
think you're talking about
you were paid,
wages, right?
yeah,
yes.
you were paid less.
Yeah, we
How
made
much
half.
less?
I figured we made half of what the guys made, and I was doing the big stunts, and the guys weren't doing anything, and they still made more than me. So yeah, it was a bit challenging, you must say, at the least. But I never complained. I never said anything. I was just lucky to be working,
Did you ever do a stunt where after a very difficult stunt where when it was done, when you completed it, like everybody just like applauded, like that's like the greatest thing we've ever seen?
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. And believe me, that's the best feeling of all, when the people on the set clap for you. I did a stair fall. I had broken my back. I came back to work 6 months later, and the first job I had was a stair fall, no pads, and it was like 27 stairs of hardwood. And the actor had to slap me, and I went down the stairs, and I got up and everybody started clapping. I thought, oh my God, I just did my job, but I was just, I felt so good about that. Just
Yeah.
made me feel awesome. That meant more to me than anything else, really.
Wow.
That was just one time. A lot of times they clapped for me when I did things. I was very lucky. You know, the people were good to me on the set. So,
Is there a right way to fall downstairs, or do you just like
Yeah.
take your
well,
chances?
I took a lot of gymnastics. No, I
You
think you
learn.
just better go fast. The metal stairs will really get you. I had to do a metal staircase. It was kind of a circular staircase, and that hurt.
Oh my
But
God.
I
God.
wasn't hurt bad on it. I just was bruised, you know. But the metal staircases are the worst. But nope.
Jeez.
It must have
That's
been all
just-
that karate that you took.
Yeah, I took karate too. I
Yeah.
took every kind of lesson:
I
judo,
noticed it.
karate,
You took
you know,
everything. Like you were very,
fencing,
yeah, very, like,
everything.
you were very,
All
very
sorts of horseback riding, you know, jumping. Gosh, you name it, I did it.
amazing.
I had to. I wanted to work, you know, so I had to do everything I could. So,
Jeez. That's
Mike,
just yes.
there's a question there. I didn't want Victor to think we were ignoring his question.
Oh,
We just-
Victor want to know, did you shoot a scene where Martha Swatek's character Marge actually lives during the shark attack scene?
I'm sorry, couldn't hear you.
She wants to know if you involved in shooting a scene where one of the characters, Marge in Jaws 2, lives during her shark attack scene. Did you stunt for any of the other actresses on Jaws 2?
No, no, not on that show. No, I was too busy doing, you know, the burn stuff and the driving the boat and yeah, no.
Okay.
She looks like Lorraine.
She does look like Lorraine Gary. I know she could have subbed for her for Jaws of Revenge. Let's see. Just before this scene, trying to see. I think that's most of the questions. Anybody else have any other questions for Gene before we say goodnight?
Let me see. Has Gene ever worked with bears? I missed that one. Sorry. Have you ever worked with bears? Bears.
You ever worked with bears?
B-E-A-R-S. Bears.
I think she froze.
She froze. Oh
Her
no,
picture froze.
she froze. It's okay. I want to make sure I hadn't had all the. I wanted to make sure that we answered all the. We did pretty good.
Honey, I lost you.
Oh, it's okay. Don't worry
Can you
about
hear
it.
us, Gene?
Say
Gene,
that
can you hear us?
barely. Barely.
Okay. Well, we'll say goodnight then. Thank you so much for doing this.
Oh,
Thank you.
thanks for having me. Thank you guys. Thank you
Thank
so much.
you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh,
Same
actually,
to you.
Gene, before you go, I want to say thank you. You know what? I know it's kind of a thing in the past you probably don't want to know, but as far as a woman and you having like such guts to come out and on that TV Guide thing that I'm talking about, the TV Guide article that you talked about with being sexually harassed and being underpaid came out way back before the Me Too movement. So you are a pioneer and you are a trailblazer. And I thank you as a woman for that. I really do. It's a pleasure to meet you. And I think you're a badass, awesome, awesome person. Thank you. I think she left, but anyways,
She'll watch it in a repeat, and that's very, very nice of you to say. Yes, she is a pioneer in the Me Too movement because, you just didn't, as they say, bite the hand that feeds you back then.
Yeah, she was like one of the first women in Hollywood to speak out. And then when she did, they blacklisted her, you know? And
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable. If you read more about it, I was reading more into it and I'm thinking, you know, this girl, they had to do a movie. Milos is right. If they ever did a movie, I'd be like right on this. And you know what? Her popularity, it would go up higher and she'd be recognized as, you know, as being the first woman. And, you know, people like Zoe Bell, she paved the, you know, way for, you know, so it just gives me chills that she was such a badass. I mean, it's awesome. Helicopters, airplanes, falls, dives, water work. I mean, crazy. Thank you. I know. Thank you, Gene. Gene, you ran, what does that say? Gene, you're an absolute legend to me. I have 100% respect for the stunt trade and what you've achieved. Love you loads. Is that Dawn Gale? That has to be. Thank you, James Scott.
Thank you,
Thank
everybody, for
you.
coming on
Thank
tonight.
you. Jane said something about a Dee Wallace story at Comic-Con here in Knoxville and told, and I can't, it's going by really fast. I was
Told
going
Jenny
to,
that I was going to meet her,
yeah. And what happened?
and
Standing
then
in
I
standing
don't
in
know. I
front of,
can't bring up any more of the comment.
oh yeah, Dee Wallace Cinema. Okay. Jenny at her home in Palm Springs and reconnected the two friendships, which is now how I know about the nose. About 10 minutes later, I have Dee Wallace with my phone walking around the convention center talking to Jean. Oh, that's a great
Nice.
story.
Great story.
Oh my God. Thank you for that. Oh my God. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, James. Thank you. She had no, not yet, Donna, but we're hoping she writes a screenplay because I'd go see that movie. I'd buy that for $1. Where's that from, Mike? Actually,
RoboCop.
that I would
RoboCop.
definitely. And you know what? Like you said, what's her name? Not Margot Robbie. I think Charlize Theron, because Charlize Theron's done a lot of her well, a little bit of her.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see her that. Thank you, James, for coming on. Sorry about getting kicked off. You know, it happens. At least we didn't get booted like last week, Mike. We had all kinds
I
of
know.
crazy
It's like, yeah.
James, is this the same James Scott that has that another podcast with Luke too, right? That's James.
I believe so. Yes.
How you doing? Thanks for coming on, James. Thanks, Donna. I didn't know she did the stunts in Cujo either, Kevin. That's pretty cool. Thanks again
That's the trait of a good stunt woman, though. You don't know that's a stunt woman. So.
And then she says what they did was they made her sign the card. Not when you, I guess when you have a SAG card or some kind of different cards. If you watch the podcast, Dawn Gale actually has on Jaws 2 page. If you haven't joined the Jaws 2 page, it's on Facebook. Dawn Gale said, there's a British man that interviewed her in a podcast, and I was listening to her. And what they had, you probably know, Mike, because you were in it. They have one card and then another card, and they put it on the other card so that she wouldn't get the residuals. And then,
right.
And that's another whammy, like for women. She's like glass ceiling breaker. If I haven't seen one, so I'm very proud that she did that for the women ahead of her. So did she meet Roy? Oh, we didn't get to ask that one, James Scott. That's a good one. Maybe ask Michael. I don't know.
I'm sure she did it on the set, and Jean was Roy's type of woman, so I'm sure he would have paid her some attention.
Or was he too busy sunbathing? He was getting tan. He was competing with Mark Gruner, getting a suntan.
Yeah.
Who's
There
getting
you go.
darker, right?
Getting darker and darker. That's bad. That's bad when the cinematographer says, "Hey, we can't color correct you," because no matter what they did to the film, Roy still looked like, he was just walked out of an oven. Everybody else just had the light Florida tan.
I love how back then, though, I remember that too. Everyone went to the tanning, like you had to get really tan, and then you had to look good, and it was all about tanning. And what was his name? George Hamilton. Remember?
George Hamilton, definitely
I always
tanner.
thought that he was going to be a dried up prune, but he still looks good.
He looks good. Well, I have, Matt and I grew up in Florida. If we wanted to get tan, we just went outside.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I see people that go into these tanning salons and everything else and
Now,
pay $300 a month. It's like, geez, just go lay out in the sun.
No, yeah. Or go to the spray tans now. The spray tans are good. What do you want to say? Oh, everybody, and I don't mean to, Michael didn't want to say this, but Michael's a little sick right now. So we were going to, oh, well, you're not feeling that well. And I'm so happy that you came on tonight, considering, and I want to thank you for that. I really appreciate
My pleasure.
it. But yeah, that was great. She's such a nice, what a pretty woman. I put her picture next to her and she looks the same. She looks gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
And very, very, very nice. Very nice. Thanks again, Jean. That was awesome. Thanks for getting her, Michael. That was awesome. Another great show. Yay, fun. All right, guys. Well, we're going to call it a night here. If anybody wants to say anything before we go. Oh, no. Did I make sure I got all of everything? Thank you.
Let's see.
Victor, Jane Jones Clark, James Scott. Thank you, Dawn Gale, for everything. I didn't get to show her that Jaws 2 page, but for some of the text that I used, I took from that gentleman, actually, and I just reworded it. Actually, it was coming from her own words, so verbatim. Anyways, thanks, James. Nice to see your face and Kevin and all that. And I want to make sure that I got everybody. Thanks again for coming on, Mike. Did we miss anybody else? Mackenzie.
No, we got Ian Morton,
Oh,
Victor,
Ian,
obviously, Jane,
yeah.
Rob
Yeah.
Hitt from South Carolina is here. So
Okay.
thank you everybody for joining us.
Thank
No
you,
show
guys.
next week. No
Yeah.
show next week. We'll be eating turkey.
No show.
No
Thanksgiving.
show.
And then
So for
after
those-
that, the next Thursday will be.
Yeah. So for those of you not in America, when it's just Thursday to you, but for the rest of us, it's eat some turkey and sit on the couch, stick your hand down your pants, and fall asleep. Fall asleep day.
Well, Bundy. What's his name? Not Ted
Al,
Bundy.
Al, not
Al
Ted
Bundy.
Bundy. Yeah, yeah.
Not Ted. No, not Ted. Sorry about that. No disrespect.
Yes.
All right.
Next Thanksgiving, everybody do a Ted Bundy. Yes. There you go. Jeez.
Oh, good Lord. I seen that documentary on it. That was a terrible thing. Good Lord.
Yeah,
Horrible.
my son was telling me about that.
Oh,
One of the Florida State nurses he killed was the granddaughter of a gentleman who lived next door to my grandfather in St. Pete. So, yeah, Ted Bundy's.
he was a
Yeah.
sicko.
He was indeed.
Sicko. You know, and it makes you wonder, like, he was a very good looking guy, you know, and it's so weird because
So what are you saying?
No, I'm just saying that I could see how some people, like, even today, like, you know, he drives up in a little Beetle and he gets out and he's good looking, right? Girls today see a guy drive up in like I don't know, whatever, nice car, and they're like, "Hey, do you want me to help you with that?" And he's got a fake leg on or whatever. Just get some people are still. I mean, I don't know if they can follow that today because there's cameras and everything everywhere, you know, like, and everybody's got their phone. Should be TikToking it, you know, like, well, should be TikToking it. Like that guy that's on TikTok that's like a millionaire living the dream now, all because of a Fleetwood Mac song. That's awesome.
I know. Good song
Kevin,
too.
yeah, she actually got to answer it. Yeah. You were unfortunately, you're the one that gets kicked off sometimes. In streams, it happens. You get kicked off. Connor, I didn't get to thank you. Thank you, Steve, for coming on. Unfortunately, sometimes your internet will kick you off or freeze you. But okay, on that note, talking about Ted Bundy, I don't know where we went into that because you said Al Bundy. Your hands in the fist. Everyone, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Have a happy holiday.
There you go. Fins up.
Fins up. Good night. And we'll see you not next Thursday, but the Thursday afterwards. Great show. Bye, guys. Thanks again. Oh,
Good night.
don't forget to post, comment. And if you're on YouTube, subscribe and like. And, you know, keep them coming. And arrivederci. A farewell and adieu. Anything else, Mike?
Yeah. Good night.
Okay, good night. Bye-bye.